What's up, card fighters? Man, am I excited for GBT04. I am very excited. For those who don't know, um, the alt mile stride skill has finally been released. I think it was released about yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Whenever it was released, I was right there, on my phone, and I saw that the skill was released, and I read it, and I was very happy with what I saw. I was checking it every morning, midday, and night to see when when they were going to post the skill. So they finally posted it up. It's really good. I do have it pulled up on my phone here, and I'm going to show it, show the card at least. But this is the alt mile stride. Let me see if I can get a zoom in on it. Let's get about right there. Yeah. So that's him. So yeah, he's pretty good too. Let's go ahead and read them real quick. You choose a face down card named Soaring Divine Knight alt mile from your G zone. Turn it face up. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, you may pay the cost. If you do, until the end of turn, this unit gets a new skill. Continuous Vanguard circle. All of your units in the front row get 3,000 power. Then, if the number of face-up cards in your G zone is 2 or more, search your deck for a grade 2. Call it to rear. Shuffle deck, and that unit gets 5,000 power. So, yeah, I mean, that's actually really good. I mean, even if you have 8Ks in the front, 8K units, with that 3, they're now hitting for 11, which is good. So, yeah, I mean, having that go to the front row is awesome. And then being able to call a grade 2 from the deck and give it 5,000 power is another really good skill. And it just flows well with the way your meta Royal Paladins are working now. I mean, you superior call grade 2s a lot. They now have a grade 2 that can technically boost. So, this is opening up a whole new ballpark for your meta Royal Paladin deck. So, yeah, I'm very excited to, when this releases. It releases in October, I believe, which is quite a ways away, but I've already started working on builds for it, and I'm pretty happy about that. So I did have to just kind of express my excitement there with that card. He's very awesome. But without further ado, I am here to do a budget deck profile on actually this guy here, your Sanctuary Guard Dragons. Now, because this is a budget deck profile, this guy's not going to be in it, but it is focused around the stride unit for Sanctuary Guard. So let's hop right into it. I'm going to be doing the starter, this guy here, starting legend Ambrosius. Yeah, you got to say his name like real dark and creep-like, because I mean that's the kind of name he has, Ambrosius. That's you can't say Ambrosius. But no. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, he's a shove him in the soul, drop and draw. Yeah, drop and draw. Plain and simple. Why do I run him versus any other Royal Paladin unit? Well, because the deck is not GB focused. So I don't really want Milius, and on another note, this deck wants the back row to be filled up with other cards other than the starter. So yeah, Milius will have to sit there too long. I need the back row cleared early in the game, so that's why I run him. He's like the best option because Bushi won't give Royal Paladins their grade 3 searcher, so gotta go with this guy. I'll put you there, Ambrosius. Next is the main Vanguard of the deck. It would be 4 copies of Sanctuary Guard guarantee. Like I said, this is a budget deck profile, so there will not be no Sanctuary Guard Dragons, but Guard Guarantee gets the job done. He does what he needs to do, which is he has the name Sanctuary Guard. So that's all we care about. We don't need anything else but the name Sanctuary Guard for the Stride unit to work. Let me try to focus this a little better. Alright, right there. Yeah, so 4 Sanctuary Guard guarantees. Skill GB1. When he attacks a Vanguard, he gets 3,000 for each grade 1 or less rear guard. And when he's on the rear circle, you can also counterblast 1, and he gets 3,000. So he's good for a lot of purposes. The main purpose being he has the name Sanctuary Guard, so you can use the stride unit on him and get the benefits of the stride unit, which is a really great stride unit. But also, even if he's on rear, he's a 13k attacker that's hitting cross rides, so it's pretty decent. How I like to do generation decks is I like to have a main Vanguard who has a Vanguard skill, and then I like to have a backup guy who has like a Vanguard rear guard skill. He can be on the rear guard and still do some pretty decent things. But yeah, this guy, it's really no different than running an actual Sanctuary Guard. I mean, yes, he gets the 11k. He's 11k, so he's a k higher, which is good for defense and offense. And also on call, you can drop in superior call a grade 1 or less with this guy, which is really the only differences. Other than that, I mean, this guy works perfectly fine. He's GB, which means even if you have 2 damage, you're getting that 3,000 boost. Unlike this, he has to have 4, which, doesn't matter. He's still a good card, but this guy can get his skill faster and with less, you don't have to take damage. So pretty sweet there. Our next grade 3 is going to be 4 copies of Fang of Light Garmor. I bet nobody saw that one coming right there. No one saw that coming. Fang of Light Garmor. This guy is he's cool in this deck. And the reason being is because, like I said, I'm only going to be on him. I don't need an alt mile because only thing I'm going to stride is the Sanctuary Guard stride unit. Pretty much nothing else unless I was forced to ride something else, which usually, pretty good about getting that. But yeah, I mean, this guy has a Vanguard and rear guard ability that's pretty similar to this, except for instead of calling any grade 1 or less, he calls a Snowgle from the deck. You drop a card from your hand, call Snowgle. So, he's a way to get that grade 1 to the back row, which is going to help, for him if he's on GB and you don't stride, or when you stride, you have those grade 1s in the back. And also you're going to have, a decent 10k attacker too. So, yeah, and he also has a Vanguard skill. Like, he gets 1,000 for each unit named Snowgle or Brugal. We don't care about that. We just want to throw him down on the rear and call Snowgle from the deck, because that's what he does. Alright, grade 2s. Run 4 Knight of Silence Galatine. He has another one of those kind of names, where you just kind of got to say it a little bit dark and creepy. Galatine. But yeah, 10k attacker. You ride him turn 2. He's cool. And then, as a rear guard unit, I mean, once you do the stride and say you have a back row filled up, that's plus 9 to him, which, he's hitting for 19, which is, pretty good numbers. I mean, if you want to wreck a rear guard, 9k rear guard that the opponent has who might be troublesome, they have to guard a lot in order to protect it, which they're probably not. Or you can just swing at the Vanguard with your boost. You're going to be hitting in the mid 20s. Yeah, actually high 20s, because yeah, 7k boost is 26. So yeah, he's solid in this deck. And like I said, we don't want to focus on GB skills. Just want to be straight in your face from the start of the match. Next, run 4 High Dog Breeder Akane. Alright, now, like I said, this is budget, so this is practically your sword meat. Okay, as you see right now, our counterblasts are quite low, so this counterblast 2 isn't really a big deal. The counterblast 2, when it's placed on Vanguard or rearguard circle, and you can superior call a high beast from the deck, any high beast, whether it's grade 2, 3, or 1, or 0, she can call a high beast. And that's pretty good. She is 8k, but that doesn't really matter once you use the Sanctuary Guard Stride. You're going to get pumped up. Like I say, if you have the back row filled, you're going to be 17k attacker alone. So, still good. Next is 2 Beast Knight Garmor. And his skill is just like the Fang of Light Garmor, except, well, for one, he's 8k, and he doesn't get the continuous boost that this guy gets. But yeah, when he's placed, you drop a card from your hand, you call Snowball from the deck. Very simple skill. It helps fill up that back row. We're stacking up our grade 1s. And then count them, 1 tacked in, Knight of Twin Sword. And this card is just in there for that attack extension. It works really good with the Stride unit because, let's say if I had a Kane in the front row and she was boosted by, let's say I have a back row full of Snowgos, right? And Akane's here, Knight of Twin Swords here with a boost. I can attack solo with Akane, or even I can attack with the boost. It all depends on how many counterblast I have left. Let's just say I have open counterblast, like I have enough counterblast. I can attack with her with the boost, right? Then when I attack with Knight of Twin Sword and use his skill, I can call another Kane, use her skill to call another grade 1, high beast to the back row, so another boost. So yeah, he's just tacked in. I mean, it's not something I have to do because we do run quite a bit of stand triggers in the deck, but yeah, to be able to extend it just one more time could be quite the difference sometimes. So just one. Next is 4 Seeker Perfect Guards. Look at that, Seekers. Yeah, so Perfect Guard. This one can guard rear guards and vanguards alike. So watch out, Dragonic. Can't hurt my people. And then our back row filler, who we want on the back row all day long, especially late mid game. You want to have a back row full of these guys. They get 1,000 for each other unit named Snowball or Brugal. And so with the back row of them, they're all 8k boosters, which, hey, it's fine by me. And they can be superior called with Akane, Beast Knight Garmor, or Fang of Light Garmor. Our next grade 1 is 4 Ringo. I have Ringo in here for Akane's skill. Especially early game, it's really good. You counterblast 2, you call this guy, he's now 10k for the turn. So he's a pretty good, just quick call there. That's pretty much all I can say about him. So he's pretty sweet. And then run 2 of the Stride fodder, Knight of Laurel. So everyone knows he does. I'm not gonna go into a skill. Drop him, Stride. There you go. Next is my trigger lineup. Let me go ahead and get these guys out the way. Alright, trigger lineup is 4 crit and 5 stand. One being this Sharon, who you can put in the soul and give a unit 3k. Then 3 draw and 4 heal. Pretty different trigger lineup. I'm a little more with a lot of my royal builds, I kind of like having stands a little over crits. I only run the crits because I'll tell you one of the most annoying things really quick here. One of the most annoying things is when you're hitting, you got your grade 3 or whatever, and you attack and they're just like no guard, you know, and they're at 4 damage. And you're just like, in your head, you know what your deck is composed of, and if you run like nothing but stands and draws or something like that, you know, like, there's no way for you to end them. You're just like, well, shoot, I can't crit them, so, you know, so that's why I do always run some form of crit, whether it's 4, whether it's 5 or 6, but I always like to incorporate stands, always like to incorporate a few draws. I'm more partial to running Rainbow Trigger than anything else, but yeah, that's a very sucky scenario when they don't guard and they're at like 4 damage, and you just know that you're not gonna kill them because you don't have any crits. So, but just 4 of them. But anyway, yeah. So that is the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I hope you guys go out and build it, or at least take some ideas from it, and just know, you know, you don't have to have, you know, this expensive card to run the Sanctuary Guard Stride unit. You know, you can run them with the guarantee, and, you know, still have a pretty decent deck. I mean, this deck, I'm not gonna say it's gonna go in and just eradicate the world, but, you know, it's a fun deck for one, and it's a deck that you can win with. It is very capable of winning. And that's because, you know, the whole strat of the deck is based around this guy and Stride unit. Speaking of Stride unit, the Stride units that I use for this deck are in my binder and in another deck. And then the Sanctuary Guard Stride I have coming in the mail. So unfortunately, I won't be able to show you strides for this because I do not feel like getting up and grabbing any Stride units. Yeah, so, but I'm sure you guys know what the Sanctuary Guard Stride unit does. If you don't, look them up. Really quick touch on them. He gives the front row 3k for each grade 1 or less unit on the field. So yeah, he's very good. He can create some pretty big numbers, and yeah, he's great, especially with stand triggers. So but that is the deck profile, guys. Hopefully you guys like it. I want to hear some comments on it, and yeah, subscribe.